Respected Dr. Sanjeev Bansal, Dr. Ajit Nagpal, Mr. Deepak Amitabh, Dr. S. N. Shukla, dignitaries of the dais, ladies and gentlemen. In our prior esteemed speakers, Mr. Deepak Amitabh and Dr. S. N. Shukla has set the tone and explained the leadership challenges and some wonderful case studies we saw about the idea turning into action, finding the gap and then working on it. Taking further, once you've identified the gap and working on the project, as a leader, one has to very importantly work on the vision and mission of the objective you are pondering and working on. Vision comes from the inventor. He visualized that, as Dr. Shukla said, that the gap is identified and then you start working on how to fulfill that gap. And then you create a vision for your company. Vision is a big picture where you want to take your company towards in the long run, and for that you create a mission statement. To reach into that big picture, you have to create certain milestones and always gauge that is your journey on the right track. Mahatma Gandhi has said in one of his books that your speed is irrelevant if your direction is wrong. So always keep checking, keep calibrating your vision and mission and align to your objective along with the modern trends, adopting the modern trends and creating a solution for your customers. While I was studying my leadership, I studied a lot of leaders of the world. And one of the examples one of the incidents I came across, it created a very lasting impression on me. I will share that with you. After Russia sent the first man in space, it was a credibility issue for the US to establish their supremacy in the space. So they came out with a mission on moon, program of mission on moon, initiated by President JFK. Before his assassination, he visited NASA on his routine inspection tour. While visiting NASA, he saw a man sweeping the floor. JFK asked him, "What are you doing here?" The answer of that person can be written in stone in golden words. He said, "I am helping sending man on moon." That's the level of alignment of vision and mission to the lowest person in your organization. The vision has to be dissipated in all level of your management. That's a very great challenge the corporates and the big large companies face. It is designed on the top. By the time it reaches to the lower management, it diminishes its values. So you have to maintain your vision and mission should penetrate the lowest person in your organization without diminishing its values. In the large corporations, when you are dealing with hundreds and thousands of people, many a time it becomes a challenge. That's why certain companies in Europe, they have a habit that when a person reports in the office in the morning, they handwrite the vision and mission statement every morning. So that embedded in their culture. Certain companies we have seen, they have a fantastic vision and mission statement engraved in copper plates, but gathering dust. Their actions are not aligned to the objective they have envisioned. And thus, you see the deviations from their objective, and many a time they go bust. So, the alignment of the vision and mission statement is very important in the large organizations. I know a CEO in one European company, and I have met him several times. He delivers almost around 100 speeches to his employees every year. And I was told by one of his senior officers that all 100 speeches are same. Each person in the room knows every word of the speech he delivers every time. That's what he keeps reminding about the culture. That's what he keeps reminding about the vision and the mission of the company, creating a lasting impression on the deliverables to the customers. In the large organizations, the strategies are designed on the top. Normally, it is after a deep dive into the situation and a very holistic approach to the subject, the strategies are derived. But some of the challenges what we have seen in the large companies are that the strategies are developed in isolation, not connecting to the reality, and not collecting the information bottom up. Abraham Lincoln, he has said in one of his speeches that if I am given 1 hour to cut the tree, I will spend 55 minutes in sharpening my axe, and in 5 minutes I will cut the tree. The similar question was asked to Einstein, that if you are given 1 hour to solve the problems of the planet, how will you do it? He said, I will spend 55 minutes in analyzing the situation and then 5 minutes acting on it. Thus, in the large corporations, there are many divisions and subdivisions and so many verticals. The alignment of all the divisions, alignment of all the departments are very, very important. The information, the flow of information, bottom up, top down, has to be in the same proportion. It's not like the Chinese whisper, what is started on the top, and while you finish, it has given a complete different meaning to that statement. A leadership challenge in the large corporation, some of them are creating a good HR. It is one of the leadership guru has said that the only competence in the business required is to form a competent team. The only competency required in the business is to form a competent team. The leadership challenge in the corporation is to build a good team. Well, there are a lot of definitions of teamwork and leadership being published, hundreds and thousands of them. But one good definition of teamwork which I like most is you can get extraordinary results from ordinary people. We all are ordinary people, but in a good team, one can get an extraordinary results. So that's a leadership challenge, to form a good team. And then empower them with clear goals, with clear KPIs and KRAs, and then expect results from them. There are situations where certain hard decisions has to be taken. and keeping in the interest of the customer. Everything in the large corporations revolves around customer. The customer needs has to be identified, as very rightly explained very deeply by Dr. Shukla. The customer need identified and then creating solutions for that. Large corporations are backbones of economy, creating large number of jobs. But one very important essence of the large corporations are to build your corporation on values. I remember seeing one interview of respected Mr. J.R.D. Tata in early 80s. He extremely well defined about the values of his organization. He said at that time, Tata was #1 company in India, and even now they are today by far #1, and globally also they have a very high ranking. J.R.D. said in his statement that we could have been 3 times bigger than what we are now if we would have kept our ethics aside, but we chose to be like this. It's the values in the company which makes the company, it gives a longer life and sustainable value and identity to the company. The brand building, what Tata has, right from salt processing to most complex engineering like Range Rover, consumer buy with confidence. The values in all the companies are same. Even in the values of the salt processing company and the Range Rover, if you analyze, the values are same. And that values have made them score a legacy of more than 100 years. The large corporations built on values will have a very sustained life and calibrating according to the modern times, but not diluting their values. Adopting all the modern technologies, but not diluting their values, will definitely give them a niche position in the market where consumer will look upon them with confidence and use their product with pride. I'm sure the students sitting over here has a lot of ambitions to grow, and many of you will create large corporations one day. Bear in mind that create something, whatever you do, you ask the question, why you do it? How to do and what to do is easy to answer. But always ask the question, why are you doing this? Is it improving the society? Is it creating impact on the consumers? Is it solving the problem of the consumers? So ask the question why. That question why has made Apple #1 company in the world. With this, I would like to conclude and wish you all the best to the students and a great success in your future endeavor. Thank you.
May we have a resounding applause for sir. Thank you so much for your words of wisdom. We feel really proud to have you amidst us and to hear you, sir. Thank you.